Other people didn't take me that seriously. And I was shameless. I went to every party in LA, I promoted myself shamelessly.
I'm mad all the time. Mike can tell you, just, angry, 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 pain in the neck. That's why I use humor a lot, because it deflates myself. I don't want to take it seriously, because if I really do.
People always say, well, interested in the antagonist in my movies. Well, the point is that they're also human, and these are also parts of the negative parts of who they are. Make your own industry. Recreate movies. Don't pay attention to the industry. Do your own thing. Goodfellas was very special. I was looking for something that I could find another way of dealing with genre. And I think really that's what started to get me really interested in it, the characters in the world that it depicted, in a genre that I've kind of felt most comfortable with over the years. There's something about the underworld, has more to do with a kind of a working class or lower working class existence from where I come from. And so it's natural for me. That world is something that deals with very basic conflicts, basic dilemmas, moral dilemmas that I grew up with. And so I feel comfortable with it. There's something about De Niro who understands the humanity of all kinds of people and could really express that. We had similar interests. He knew where I came from, I knew where he came from. He understood the area I grew up in, and I just think that they reflect those dilemmas, those conflicts. It's kind of comfortable at times to do stuff that you feel you intrinsically know. What I mean is, know at least in terms of body language, dialogue, no dialogue.
And to you,
that's what they tell me, yeah.
And did you want to be famous? Did you want to be...
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes.
And
yeah.
Did all that generation of people that you met then,
yes,
Spielberg and Schrader and...
We all did. I mean, when I was at NYU, I knew I was a director. I was making a living editing somewhat, other people's films and documentaries and things like that. I was making a living also doing a little bit of writing, but basically, the only thing I really can't do is, really can't do on my own. I tried. I have no knowledge of any kind of lighting or camera work, how a camera works. I've tried that. I've done 16mm and things like that, but I'm not... Where I came from, it was always dark.
So do you leave it always to your DOP?
It was always dark in the lower, yeah, well, pretty much the DP. No, I designed with him. I designed the shots. I designed the movement of the shots and the size of the frame. I have a real problem sometimes dealing with the light. I don't know where the light sometimes is coming from. For me, like it's New York. Look at us right now. But no, I felt I was a director, and I knew I was, but other people didn't take me that seriously. And I was shameless. I went to every party in LA. I promoted myself shamelessly.
We were writing, there's that scene where Bob De Niro is standing at the bar with a cigarette, and he's looking at Manny, and he's going to kill him. And you know he's going to kill him. And Marty has this shot, and he gets closer and closer and closer, and Bob's eyes get more wolf-like. It was just the most terrifying picture. And as I'm typing that stuff, because I'm the typist, he says, put in cream, put in cream. I said, what cream? He says, just write down cream. I said, what cream? Who are you talking about? Just put it. Do me a favor, just put it. So I typed in cream. Well, it turns out, while we're typing that scene, he's already listening to the music.
He has a deep sense of how music should go with a film, and by that I don't mean that it should go easily. Sometimes it's a shocking choice, but it works like crazy.
I kind of see everything with music, especially the juxtaposition of the type of music you're listening to the images that you see out the window, and that sort of thing. And I said that's the way music should be in a movie.
What is it about this thing of filmmaking that turns you on the most? What is it about this process that, is it the editing? Is it creating the scene?
For me, first of all, you need the story, you need the script to be there. You need the script to be there. You need it to be on the page in terms of the emotion and in terms of something with which the audience can empathize in terms of characters. You need the audience to care about somebody. Okay, that's one thing. So we've been taking over the years, we've been pushing the envelope on that, though, over the years with Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and particularly Raging Bull, and even Goodfellas and Casino. So we're pushing the edge there. How much can you care for a person if he's this bad or she's that bad, Can you still care? There's some out there I know can still care, so that's pretty good. Okay, now let's see if we can push a little more. I have to like the people in the film. I have to love them.
The characters or the actors?
The characters. Both, actually. Yeah. Both. First I start with the characters. And if you have actors who are soulmates too, that's great. also have the same philosophy, too. De Niro has a certain philosophy, Keitel.
And it's the same philosophy you have? It's a
Yes,
shared philosophy?
Yeah, it is.
Which is?
Well, dealing with the subject matter, that we see it a certain way. And there's a certain truth that we try to get to. Joe Pesci, too, has that about a Raging Bull or about a Goodfellas or a Casino. That we just sense when something isn't quite right. We know that that gesture is wrong, you know. You can't direct it. They have to be it. People who are flawed, people like ourselves, and to see if anybody else cares about them.
Yeah.
There was no tradition of reading in the house, no books. Of course, I read in school, etc., I read books in school and that sort of thing, but it was more of a visual tradition, more if I was taken to movie theaters a lot. Also, being a sickly child with very severe asthma, I couldn't play sports. So again, the movie theater and the church and the movie theater. And so, along with the films, there was also the advent of television, 1948, 49, and the heyday of really some of the best programming in American television, in the history of American television up to this point, with the 50s, 1950s. And so I saw a lot of television shows, but also films on television. Being working class family too, they didn't have enough money to go to the theater, so theater wasn't an option. Live stage shows. So it was mainly visual literacy. What was happening at that time to me. I did not understand that was happening. What it made me realize was that there was an intelligence, another kind of intelligence, that was trying to tell a story through where the director, the writer, and the cinematographer, where they were focusing your eyes. You know, whether it was the camera may be on an extremely low angle, looking up at you. The use of the lens, the size of the lens. I began to understand certain lenses interpreted the story differently. A longer lens crushed everything together and made it flat. A wider lens stretched everything and sometimes distorted it, especially if camera movement. I learned looking at certain pictures, particularly Wells's films, and William Wyler too, a wide-angle lens. Wyler used his wide-angle lens in a very strong, steady image, but Wells used that wide-angle lens, 18 millimeter, it turns out, very often, to move along the walls, and you really I felt as if the camera was flying, as if the story was flying by, you know. I didn't know why until I kept seeing the films again and again, and as I began to know a little more about what filmmaking was like and what cameras did, and I still didn't know who made the pictures, you know, but I was beginning to understand that there are certain tools you use, and those tools become part of a vocabulary that's just as valid as that vocabulary that is used in literature, in our language.
I love to watch my son direct. I just love to sit there and watch him direct the picture.
What about what do you like? What do you like in Raging Bull? Raging Bull is one of the greatest.
I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like when he puts me in a picture and then he takes me out.
Well,
that's not fair. I worked so hard.
She was cut out of Taxi Driver. She was Travis's first passenger.
That's right.
With shopping bags. You know, shopping bags, they couldn't get in the car. And
they were so heavy. I says, what do you got?
Mom, something had to go. You had to go, that's it.
Then you take...
And you took me out.
I took you out. What else did I take you out of?
No.
Raging Bull you took me out of, too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you were only an extra there.
You were an extra. That wasn't a big part. No, but you did a big scene in King of Comedy. You did the whole improvisation with De Niro. The whole scene in King of Comedy with De Niro down in the basement. And his mother arguing with him is all improvised between the two of them.
Very good. I thought of that all myself. All by myself.
And I tell you...
He gave me 2 words and he says, continue.
Yeah, right. She wrote down her own dialogue.
Yeah.
And but I says to myself, I'm gonna be smarter than him.
Okay, what about the early days, like when Marty was doing Murray?
Oh, when he was, wait a minute, when he started with these films, and he used to tell me, you have to get in the picture. I used to tell him, but I'm not an actress. He used to say to me, but you don't have to be an actress. I said, but I don't know how to act. He says, Mother, you either get in the picture or you pay. Money I didn't have, so I had to get in the picture.
Pay for what?
For the actress.
For the actor.
For the actor. We had to pay. We had no money.
We had no money, so I had to get in the picture. So they had to use me.
Tell them what you got for your pot.
Mean Streets, they gave me $28 and I couldn't say nothing. $28.
On Mean Streets, I had a big fight with you on the set, remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mean Streets.
Big fight.
The Mean Streets, the part at the end when they're in the hallway and Bobby De Niro's having the fight with Harvey.
And she gets the fit.
I was so tired. I used to go to work at the time, and it was 1:30 in the morning, and he was sleeping. He didn't want to come. He was sleeping, and I says to Marty, please, it's late. Everybody wants to go home. He says, well, we're going to do this a few more times. Well, he did it a few times, but then I went over to him and I said, Marty, I have to go to work in the morning. He says to me, go in that corner and don't come out till I call you. That's it.
She said, don't you dare talk to me that way.
He said, I said, don't you talk to me like that. I'm your mother. He said, go in the corner.
But the problem was that the people in the building, you see, Mean Streets was mainly shot in Los Angeles.
But
Actually, you told me you got it from so many angles, she said. You got it from a wide angle, you got it from a medium shot. Let's go home.
Let's go home. That's right. I have to watch
I
it.
said, hey, you know
now
too
we do
much.
it this way. Now we do it that way. So I figured he's got it from all angles.
Get it.
I started to understand the angles.
No, because you knew from the student films that were able to
Of
help
course.
You know.
But I couldn't imagine the beginning what he was doing.
You know, people always say, well, interested in the antagonist in my movies. Well, the point is that they're also human. These are also parts of the negative parts of who they are. Evil streak, so to speak, if you want to use that phrase, is also maybe something in us and something not to be afraid of, but to explore.
A lot of his films, and especially with Goodfellas, definitely deal in the underworld. And that's been a recurring theme in a lot of his work. And I think people are attracted to that, but more so the fact that he's always trying to grasp the humanity of these people, the flawed nature of these characters.
I think they just reflect aspects of who we are as human beings, and some things we can't deny or pretend they don't exist. That's the idea. That's very dangerous, because if you're teaching younger people, when they suddenly shocked to find out it does exist, no, it exists. You know, I just want to get you prepared. I don't know how it's going to come at you, but it's going to be there, because that's part of who we are.
I'm wondering, when you're trying to make a film and you come up against obstacles and barriers, what do you attribute your strong dedication to getting that film made?
Really, hysteria, usually. Hysteria and obsession and anger, I think, mainly anger. I'm mad all the time, I might tell you, just, you know, angry, pain in the neck. That's why I use humor a lot, because it deflates myself. I don't want to take it seriously, because if I really do, I would have been gone much longer. 25 years ago, I wouldn't have survived. But the anger is enormous about everything. About everything. And so that also fuels me to make a picture, I think. But keeping the sense of humor is the key thing, the irony. The irony, when you get there in the morning and you get a note that one actor has had a nervous breakdown and he can't go on with the film. It happened. It happened.
They don't want to come out of
Yeah, they don't want to come out of the trailer.
Go ahead, right here in the black sweater.
What are you going to do? Get a heart attack otherwise. Or you kill someone, you know, it's not good. That's true. Yes. Make your own industry. Recreate movies. Don't pay attention to the industry. Do your own thing. I mean, put it this way. You want the work to be seen, but it doesn't have to be at the Odeon. You know, no more. That's all different. That's another ancient world. That type of film, or not even that type of film. The communal experience is always important. You can make a film on a camera the size of that doorknob and still show it to 1,600 people in an audience. It's still a great communal experience. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to cost over 100 million pounds. You know, it's all new. You just break it open. Break open the form. Don't just you know, have your tripod and a camera that's standing on it. The cameras that are being made now, and of course the fact that all Arriflex and other cameras have stopped being made, and whether we like it or not, we have to deal with a new technology, high definition, or digital, whatever it's called. It changes cinematography, the art of cinematography, but you younger ones, you make a new art. Take what's available, push it, you know. Because it's going to go there. You could do anything. These are the questions that you have to deal with if you're making a film to anyone who decides what you leave in the frame and what you leave out. And that's the fundamental issue. Where do you put the camera? Which take do you use? Where do you cut or not cut? That's the basic question. Now, we come full circle to The Irishman, you know, working with the actors, trying to capture again kind of a beauty of movement, gesture, speech. A lot of the stuff I recall from my own life growing up, and that I could really explore further with, you know, incredible artists like Pacino and De Niro. Al Pacino and I worked, this is the first time we worked together on this picture. And Bob and I returned to working together again after, I think the last picture we worked on together was Casino, 1995. So this took a long time to find the right project and to find the right space, so to speak, in which we could operate. And also try to learn more about ourselves, I guess. I'm not sure. And maybe about making a movie, you know. And we're looking even more closely from this vantage point in our lives at the age of 75, 76. We're looking at friendship, betrayal, power, trust, self-preservation, and then maybe the possibility of a redemption. I think, I know at least in my case, we all return to what obsesses us, what haunts us, to the questions that deepen and really become more mysterious as time goes by as we ask them.